Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FiTT Show. Excuse me. Financial information for today and tomorrow. I'm Bobby P. Kinzer,
And I'm Thomas Doty.
and we are the FiTT Show, helping our people get their finances in shape. Welcome, Thomas Doty. How are you, my brother?
I am. How you? I'm doing well. Happy New Year, good brother.
Happy New Year. This is 2026. Welcome, everybody, to our first show for 2026. And that means, though, we're going on our fifth year, my brother. This is our 225th show, which is, I think is a great testament to me and you, my brother. I mean, that's, excuse me, we've been around for a good while trying to, excuse me, man, got a kind of hoarse here, getting information to people. And like to thank everybody for tuning in. And we just want to make sure that we give our uh, financial disclosure. We're not um, qualified financial advisors. We do not have any fiduciary responsibility, but we do feel responsible of giving you good, accurate information about the financial mainstream that we're all dealing with, and everybody knows it's pretty crazy these days. Just a couple of little tidbits. Definitely, please click on the like button and the heart button. That helps us reach more people. It's so important that you do that. And it's important that you put comments in the comment box because we get um, just double the amount of people that are exposed to our show. That's just how it works on Facebook. So that's the administrative side of us doing things. Just want to make sure we maximize. We're up to approximately, though, 500 followers. Now, it may not sound like a lot, but me and Thomas Doty, we do not market this. We do not receive money. We're not trying to receive money. And I think that's pretty good for us just being on here, though, and not doing any marketing and got people who are really interested in tuning in. So, for all the people who've been with us, we first want to thank you. There's a lot of people that's been up with us the full 4 years, though, especially my three sisters. I don't want to leave nobody out. Modestine, Garnett, and wait a minute, who am I leaving out? It's always, uh, oh, and Miss Skinner. They have been here, and believe it or not, Rodney. He came in after them, but Rodney's been on consistently, and my good brother Carl Chapman. And if I left anybody else, forgive me. Charge it to my mind, not to my heart. But that's about everybody, actually. You all that's been like stalwarts that's been on almost every show we've been to. So thank you. Just want to make sure we let y'all know that. Dope. So what's going on in the world of the stock market, my brother? Or are we
Well,
going to go there first? Are we going to go there? We're going to wait today, aren't we? We just want to tell you, like our show last time we were on was December the 18th, and we were not on because of Christmas and New Year's. But we do want to talk to you about the stock market. But actually, before we get into that, we want to talk about what today's show is going to be about. It's called Recap of 2025.
yeah, we're going to try to just give you an overview of what happened in 2025 and get you, letting you know what we are using as our basis for preparing for our investment strategy for 2026. And we're going to give you a couple of things to think about that you might want to try to consider before you get involved with how you're going to do things different next year. And we're going to talk a little bit about how your year went this year, how we did individually, and hope you had a good year. I hope you did. I had a pretty good year. Very, very challenging. There were so many things that happened in 2025. It's crazy when you look back at it. You had the tax bill that's going to have a very, very positive effect on some people's taxes. Very, very positive effect on the rich people's taxes, and things you need to be aware of. And the tariffs, which caused the market to basically crash back in April. Still got war going on in Ukraine. You got the Middle East still fighting through what they're doing. Trump took office in January of this year. And AI continues to be pushing the market. And we still don't know what the tangible benefits of that's going to be. We had to shut down this year, which created some angst for everybody. And stock market was very, very volatile. You had a lot of ups and downs, but it still produced some good returns. I'm gonna show you that in a minute. The S&P was up around 16, 17%. And so by reviewing what happened in 2025, hopefully you can be prepared for what's going to happen in 2026. That's our goal with what we're going to do today.
And like I said, a lot of things happened in 2025. I mean, half the things though, I've already forgotten. You know how human nature are. We some forgetting people, but there's some things we just like to be abreast of. But however much you remember, don't remember, it is good to have a review of what has transpired, so you can look at what worked and what did not work. There's an old saying that goes something like this: "How can you know where you're going if you don't know where you've been?" So we just want to get into a few of the things and looking in the rearview mirror that can help us going forward. For 2026, because all summer, now I don't know though about for you. I mean, I thought 2025 was pretty fine for me too, but a lot of people it really hurt a lot of people, man. The shutdown. I know my friends at the FDIC, excuse me, were affected by that. And it was so much going 20, but I don't know about 2026 though. So, excuse me. Let's start off with some of the highlights of 2025 though.
Well, the big one I think that everybody recognizes is that borrowing became cheaper. I mean, the Fed had a couple of reductions in the Fed funds rate, and that should make borrowing cheaper. And by the same token, it's going to make your investing as far as interest rates also go down. So typically when the interest rates go down, that's a positive for the market. That usually means inflation's under control. So I think that's a positive. Another positive is that the S&P returned about 17%. And that's, we always talk about it averages somewhere between 10 and 11%, but very good year for the S&P. A little bit scary in that there are some very, very huge companies that had really good years that are becoming a bigger part of the total market valuation. And that might create some issues down the road. But all in all, the S&P had a good year. Gold and silver went up like crazy. Gold went up like crazy. Silver went up even crazier. And not sure. My personal opinions, I think that's a lot because of all the uncertainty in the market, and gold and silver are set in value, and I mean, they are at historical highs right now. So I would say those are the three big highlights that I think about, Bob.
Well, those interest rates coming down was definitely a highlight. But the interesting thing about that, the low lights is on the side of like having savings accounts and high yield savings accounts and CDs. Those low interest rates was low affected people because now you wasn't getting a greater return on your money. The other one, though, was the rise in government debt level. Though we are over $38 trillion in debt. Can you imagine that? 38 trillion. I mean, back there with they thought under um what's his name, Bubba Clinton, it was something like maybe like 10 billion or something. I mean, yeah, no, it was in the billion. Excuse me, but it wasn't in no damn trillions. Nowhere close to that, man. No, it's in the
It's crazy. A lot of that's from that tax bill. I mean, give a lot of money to the rich folks.
Yeah, man, but 38 trillion. And then there's the concentrations of the value in specific companies, meaning like AI companies are driving the market right now. Just like, we had the Magnificent Seven, just a few amount of stocks that really, really affect the whole stock market environment. AI companies are really, really affecting the market. And a lot of people wonder, is there going to be an AI bubble? Because though you made a statement about the positive and the negative, right?
Yeah.
How it could, if it does come in. How did you explain it though?
How do I explain what now?
About AI, like the uncertain, like you saying, if it's AI
Oh
coming
yeah,
in.
everybody's waiting to see what productivity it's going to bring. And if it brings a whole bunch of productivity, folks are going to lose their jobs. And if it doesn't bring a whole bunch of productivity and the market crashes, a lot of folks are going to lose their jobs. So it's going to be very, very interesting how that affects the overall job market.
And then, what a lot of people may not be aware of, but if you were watching your 401ks and your 403bs, the market crashed on April the 8th, approximately about by 20%. And that's so interesting because it definitely came back. But April the 8th, 2025, the market, a lot of people, and I know a lot of people though that hurried up and jumped out of, and they were in the thrift savings plans, and they were in like say the C fund, which is the growth fund, and they lost that amount, and they just jumped out and went into the G fund, which was money markets, and they immediately recognized that loss. So, that's why you got to be careful. Then the next one, though, was definitely the cryptocurrency volatility. Now, we already know cryptocurrency is volatile, but in 2025, the high, especially in the beginning of the year, it went up to $125,722 a Bitcoin, the highest ever. But then, though, it had a low of 2025 of $87,907 per Bitcoin. That's a 30% drop. And I want y'all to look at the charts when we look at the charts today and just look at the movement of cryptocurrency. Now, that's such a wide, dispersing gap right there, but it's such a crazy financial instrument. But we're going to really look at these and look at these charts that we get ready to show y'all because it tells you a whole lot. And that's why it's good to, be aware and, have some information. So, let's start with, hold on, let me make sure I get this right here. Okay, let's start with the stock market, though. The 2025, what happened in 2025 with the markets?
Okay, and you gonna put it up?
Yeah, it's just taking the time. It's coming up. Oh, you bastard. It's going to dog us today, man. Hopefully, it worked earlier today, ladies and gentlemen. And just how the technology spooks got us.
It happened different.
You're just going to have to, you have the charts in front of you, though. It's not letting
I can get it. You can't get it going?
No, it's not coming up. We have no control. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but we have no control.
You keep trying, and I'll speak to it. But like I said, the S&P was up 17.4% for the year, which is pretty good. NASDAQ was actually up 20%. And the stocks that I hold, Microsoft did 15%, Apple did 9%, NVIDIA's up 40%. Let me say that again. NVIDIA's up 40%, which is absolutely fantastic. Google's up 65%. And think about that. That stock went from 190 to 314. That's fantastic. Pfizer went down a couple points. At the beginning of the year, it was 27. Now it's 25. My Palantir went up 134%. It went from 76 to 107. Let me see. It went up from 76 to 178, which is just fantastic. And that United Healthcare, it did okay. I bought that in the middle of the year. I got in there at 300, actually 301, and it ended the year at 330. So I did 10% on there. And the last stock I bought was that Corning Glass, and it didn't do crazy good. I bought it at 85, and it ended the year at 88. But all that to say, of all the stocks I own, Pfizer is the only one that did not go up. It went down a very, very small amount. And again, that stock pays a 7% dividend. And the numbers I gave you, I mean, most of these are growth stocks, so they don't pay huge dividends, but there's still dividends on top of what the stock actually went up. So I had a pretty good year overall. Excuse me, especially on the money that I managed myself, the money that the folks at Fidelity managed for me. It did about 12%, which I am happy with. And first question you may have is, why would I be happy with 12% if the market if the S&P went up 17%? Well, again, if you're just looking at the S&P, that means you're 100% invested in stocks. And I am not 100% invested in stocks. That would be an extremely risky portfolio to be 100% invested in stocks. So I have some conservatism in my portfolio. I'm about 70% stocks and 30% fixed instruments and bonds. So I don't expect to make what the S&P take with the S&P returns, but again, I'm not fully invested in the stock market like the S&P. So, I mean, all in all, it was a very good year for me, very good year for the stock market, and I hope you did okay in your own portfolio. And let me just show you quickly how the market's doing on our normal from January 1st. If since the first of the year, the S&P is up slightly, about 1%, same with NASDAQ. And a couple of the stocks are actually down. Microsoft's down 1.2%, Apple's down 4.8%, NVIDIA's down 1.1%. Again, this is from January 1st through January 8th today. Google's up 3.6, Pfizer's flat, Palantir's down a point, less than 1%. United Healthcare is up to 347, which is up 17 points since the first of the year. And Corning Glass is actually down 3% or 3 points. It's down to 85. So market starting off a little shaky, but again, everything's at all-time highs. I mean, the S&P and Dow, they're all doing, all-time best. And so this goes into our saying how volatile this year is going to be. You just wonder, can this run up continue? We've had a bear market for several years now, and they typically don't last this long. But all in all, the market has been pretty good.
Okay, I was trying to come another way with trying to show this, but we'll just, excuse me, just talk a little bit more about the market for 1 minute, because I think I got another way I can show the cryptocurrency screen.
Yeah, and that's the thing we've talked about, how you should have some money invested in the stock market, and if you didn't this year, again, you definitely missed out. And I would be, and as we talk about 2026, I am actually bearish on what's going to happen this year, because the market has been on a run for a while, and there's just so many possible negative things from geopolitical and wars, and invasions and what's going to happen with Taiwan and China, what's going to happen in the Middle East, what's going to happen in Ukraine, what's going to happen, is Trump going to invade Greenland? I am actually going to sell some of my holdings and just sit on some cash for a while. My core holdings, which are basically the NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Google, not going to sell those, but I think I'm going to sell my United Healthcare. I got in there at 301. It's now at 347. So that's about a 12% gain. So I might, a little over 12%. I might jump out of that one. And actually about 13%. I might jump out of United Healthcare. I might jump out of Corning. And just because, again, I'm not comfortable with where the market is and how things are projecting for the rest of the year. So,
Well, Doug, I couldn't do what I thought I could do. So thank you for taking that moment. Let's talk about the crypto market scene, if we may. Excuse me. Ooh. Now I done lost that. I don't even have that no more. Hold on. Just bear with me. Having a little technical difficulties today, but that's how it is with this kind of thing these days. I want to talk a little bit about, excuse me, what the crypto market was doing for the current year. You know, from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, since when we stopped, the Bitcoin was up 6%. It went from $85,482 to $90,971. So keep that in mind. It's going to let you know how, just comparing it towards a year. And all the cryptocurrencies were up from 3 weeks ago, believe it or not. All of them were in the positive. Now, some of them switched positions, like Ripple was in the fourth position. Now it's down to, no, it was in the third position. Now it's dropped down to the fourth. And Tether, which is the stable coin, which moved up to third place and it's about 99 cents a coin. But that's what they call stable coins. They're backed by US dollar. Excuse me. And then Binance came in fifth, and then it was another stable coin called USDC was in sixth. Now, excuse me, and now Solana has moved up. So a lot of movement in the cryptocurrency market, though I don't know what's really driving that, but it's a lot of. And I'm telling, we usually just deal with the top six, everybody, and I'm just talking about movement in the top six has been occurring. Now, I'm going to talk about the year over year, which is 2020, 2031, 2024 to 2031, 2025. It's interesting, though, the crypto market cap increased by like, excuse me, 71%, but yet year over year, cryptocurrencies that we track, the top six, were down. Like Bitcoin at the end of 2024 was 98,000. Remember I told you today it's at 90,000.
mhm.
It was at 98,000 in 2024. And remember I told you beginning of the year of 2025, it went up to 125,000. But by the end of December 31st, 2025, it dropped all the way down to $91,413. That was a $5,249 drop, a 6% drop. And all the other currencies dropped too. Cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, which was the smart contract, dropped by 12%, like $389. It was at $3,300. So we always talked about, the volatility in cryptocurrency, but as you can see, it's just all over the place. And that's why we say, at least if you're dealing with cryptocurrencies, to kind of, stay in for the long term, because trying to time cryptocurrency jumping in and out. And I know people that do. I know people have done very well. And I also know people that did not do very well. But we sort of like the strategy of just staying in for the long haul and using money that is not money that you're going to need in the next 1, 2 years or period. This money that you're not going to be relying on, but it can, increase. I forgot what you got in. What was the rate? What was the, Bitcoin value when you got in?
What is the value now?
The value now is 90,971.
Divide that by 5. I got in at about, let's see, 90, about 20,000.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm up about 5 times what I put in.
And I
didn't put in but $4,000, and now it's worth 20. So
I only put in $2,000, and but I got in later at when it was sort of like at 30,000, 35, and it's interesting though. I've only grown to about 5,000, 6,000. That two.
You had to get in higher than that then.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I did. I got in once at when it was 30. Then I got in when it was much. I'm sorry. The second half, 2000. I got in when it was late. I just thought about that. Right. That's why. Right.
I can tell you exactly when I got in. It's and again, mine was more. There wasn't no analytical analysis done to say this is when I need to get in. It was more of a FOMO. I didn't want to be left out, and so I decided to get in. But no, I'm actually up 400%. So I guess I got in at about 25.
Okay.
I did about 25,000.
Right.
Yeah. Between 20 and 25. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the extent of the crypto market. Like we said, it's very volatile. But as you can see, depending when you get in, it's no certain main science to it. But it's one day, though, I believe that cryptocurrency is going to be used like a fiat currency, meaning they're going to be starting to use it how they expect it to. Remember, it's all about peer-to-peer. They talk about cut the middle person out, and people can actually just transact through their phone, through email, through the internet. No middleman like Visa, and the banks and all those other mediaries.
It makes so much sense just because it's an easier way to transact without having to get other people involved and paying other fees. And it's a direct, I want to buy something from Bob. I don't have to use a credit card.
Right.
I can just say, boom, Bitcoin, here, pay Bob X amount of money. It goes from my account to his account.
And any time of the day, it's going to be valuable. It's going to be moving on it 24 hours. And I think the concept is there is just that people are taking a while to get on board with it. At one time they were doing it. There were a few people like you could buy cars with it. Like Ferrari started doing it, trying to push it. And but there's other countries like in South America and Central America that are using it as their currency. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Huh?
I want to look it up because I can't. I thought it was Peru, maybe. But what happened whenever there was volatility, people could lose, a whole bunch of money when it became their basic currency. And so I don't know if they were going to try to smooth out the volatility. I'm not sure how they would do that, but it's really interesting to use it as your country currency and still deal with the volatility. I mean, that's okay if it's going up, but when it's going down and you don't have a lot of money, you could be in some serious trouble.
Yeah. But a few countries are actually using it as currency, and so far it's working out. But America has, and all the major developed countries are not really driving the markets that really turned over to using it as their normal currency. So, though, we want to switch to y'all because this is all about a recap of 2025, right? We try to give you about what happened, some of the things that worked, some of the things that didn't work. But we want to transition now to things that we believe. Remember, this is just me and Doe. This is no major research but we want to talk about the things that will drive our financial decisions in 2026. Things that, from what we've experienced and from 2025, we want to talk about those things that want to drive our financial decisions. And financial decisions are major because a lot, though we talk about this, me and Doe are the same on this. 2026, we think is going to be very volatile. We know it's been volatile, but we really think it's going to be. I'm trying to stay away from the word disastrous, though. But
no, well, I don't think you want to say the word disastrous. I think the opportunity is right for a disaster to happen. I mean,
right.
It wouldn't surprise me if the market would take a 20% drop between all the confusion with the tariffs, between some of the political stuff going on. If the midterm elections don't go, well, whichever way they go, there's going to be a big blow up about that. So there's just so many things that can cause this market to snap crazy.
And don't remember the last 11 years, it's, quote, been a bull market.
Oh, no question. And this is unprecedented times.
And what qualifies it as a bull or a bear market is usually it's a 20% decrease for 3 quarters. I think that's the definition for a bear market. It's got to be 3 quarters of a drop of 20% or more. So, Doe, what's driving our decisions for 2026?
Yeah, and it's kind of what drives our decision. And just given how crazy things are going to be, it's imperative that you are equipped for the things that may happen. And the first thing, and we must have mentioned this, if we've had 52 shows last week or 50, we must have mentioned this 20 times. You have to be ready to deal with the craziness that may happen. And that's the thing that really has me thinking, Bob, is that you not understanding your financial position, not understanding, financial literacy, not taking care of your money. You can be put in a bad spot. So, why don't you start with where we should start, Bob? What's the first thing you ought to do?
And this may sound like a broken record, but you must have a plan. I mean, I don't think we can say it enough. You know why? Because I know a lot of people that don't, still to this day. And it's not, you don't have to go and get no financial. I mean, we all for getting a financial advisor, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have to be to that thing. The thing, you just need to sit back and really first think about where are you at. A lot of people you just need to take a snapshot to where you are. A lot of people don't even do that. They just hold it in their head. And then you need to think about where you're trying to go. And that really determines some of the things you need to do. So you got to have a plan. You need to really think about, where you want to be and what position you want to be in 12 months, short term, 12 months. But then you start thinking about long term, 3 to 5 years. And just look at the things that you need to do. Look at your tax planning, look at your spending habits, your spending plan, budget, no question about it. Because I'm telling you, though, whether we're right or whether we're wrong, you won't go bad and really. And if you had a plan and you haven't revisited it in months or years, this is the time to review it, update it, because if you haven't, there's been so many things that happened in 2025, though. There's no question you should be adjusting your financial plan.
Yeah, and the next thing you have to do, you got to make sure you're maximizing your income and your earnings. That's. I mean, I think jobs are going to be shaky. The economy is going to be shaky. You got to make sure you're making as much as you possibly can of your salary. That means maximizing your company benefits, making sure you're getting all company matches, you're taking making use of any ancillary benefits your company has, whether it's metro benefits or parking, or use the train, or however you get to work. Those are the kind of things that's money being left on the table if you're not taking advantage of it. If you're investing, even if you're not investing, if you're putting your money in savings accounts, make sure you get the best interest rate that you can. There's no reason not to have a high yield interest rate account, and you can still get some pretty decent CD rates right now. And because they're talking about interest rates may continue to come down, and so if you can lock in a decent paying CD right now, then you should probably do that. And especially if you're younger, you need to be increasing your income streams. You should find other ways to make money, whether it's a side job, whether it's like a side hustle or a special skill you have. If you're a teacher, maybe you can do tutoring. If you're financially inclined, maybe you can do taxes during tax season. But just find some ways to get some extra income in case things do get shaky. You'll have some extra money put away.
On that, maximize your income. You really need, if you're still working and you haven't maximized your employee contribution, it's up to 23,500, and the catch up is now, I think, yeah, 7,500. So that's about what, 30,000? Yeah, I think it's up to 30,000. Um, and no matter if the market goes down or not, at least if the market did go down, you still get the tax write off, remember, because it's going to be tax deferred. So you will reap that tax benefit right from the beginning. So that's another way to maximize, your earnings and things. And I don't want to overlook how important to take advantage of interest rates. If you just have some money sitting on the side and you're afraid, don't want to take no risk into the market, lock it into a 6 month, 1 year, or 2 year CD. You can't go wrong. If the market go down, you're safe. If it go up, you're still good. So consider that. Though the next thing you need to talk about, this is a big one, man. Minimizing expenses, man, because I know for myself, though. I mean, I look back on, my month's spending, and I spent, man, I'm like, God dang it, where did it go? Where did the money go? And things are costing so much, man. And so to definitely think about minimize, how often you eating out, definitely look at your subscriptions. There's so many subscriptions, especially streaming subscriptions like the Netflix and the Disney and all of the subscriptions that we got out there. The fitness subscription that this is the time of year we make these New Year's resolutions and we put all that money. Save your money, dang it. Don't even do it. Stop it. Just go get an app and work out at home. Comparative shop. It's so important. And what I mean by that, and there's so many things you comparative shop on. If you're looking to get a new car, I know it's a car you might like, but really look, there's so many different places that you can get a better buy. Insurances, oh my God. Health insurance, especially now that, even though it's done the enrollment has closed, but any way that you can lower your insurances, like your car insurance, that's a big one. They show the majority of people are paying way more on their car insurance than they need to if you just comparatively shop. Though we found Erie Insurance Company, which is out of Pennsylvania. They only do a certain amount of states, and obviously out of Pennsylvania and Maryland and D.C. and Virginia is, I think Virginia, but I know Maryland and D.C. is one of the states, and it's great. The coverage is great, and the premiums are very low. Um, the phone bill, we really not. I know a lot of people get caught up in they've been with their favorite Verizon or whoever it is that they've been their carrier, but trust me, comparison shop because they all are equal. You all, ain't no about uh, uh, your favorites just because you've been with them so long. They don't care about you. You need to look at them, and I'm telling you, just like another one, um, the gap insurance, right? Health insurance. A lot of people don't realize, man, that they call that donut hole that you can do. Uh, People don't shop, man, and there's so many out there. But if you take the time, it takes research, man. Don't talk about that all the time. And look, this other one I talked cable bill. Though I've been using um, what is it called? YouTube TV, and it's been saving us over a hundred and something dollars a month. And we're getting all the channels, even the local channels now are streamed through there. So those are just say really, really minimize your expenses, y'all, because so many things cost though, and there's some good stuff out there too before you put your money on.
Yeah, and Bob, to your point, you got to analyze your spending. You got to look and see what you're spending money on, and make sure that you're okay with where your money's going. A lot of people don't. They're just spending. They have no idea what they spend eating out. They have no idea what they spend on alcohol. They have no idea what they spend on gym memberships. But I'm not saying everybody needs to get, one of those black headbands and eye shades and the protector, the pencil protector that accountants wear. But you got to sit down in these times. You have to sit down and figure out where your money's going. You got to budget your money, understand what's coming in, understand what's going out. Make sure you're okay with how you're spending your money, and that you are on some path to, yes, I'm spending X amount, but I'm okay with that, as opposed to I have no idea where my money's going. And if you have no idea, you don't know if it's good or bad. It may be good, but it probably isn't if you're not paying attention to it. So
I just gotta say, it's not the big amount. It's not the $500. It's not the $1,000. It's those it's those 10, 20, 30, $50 that go like that. Those are ones that really, really add up, and that's what you need to pay attention to. It's never the big ones, though.
Well, it's both, because as you talked about before with comparative shopping, like your house insurance is probably a big part of your bill. But if you aren't comparing, and the home insurance company you got, they're assuming they got you. I guarantee you, they're assuming they got you, and they're hitting you with a little increase every year. And if you don't take the time to look, you might be able to save $300-400 just by switching insurance, or sitting down and making sure your homeowners and your car owners are both tied together, and that your deductibles. If you have an older car, maybe you don't need a $100 or $200 deductible.
Comprehensive.
Yeah, a deductible. Yeah, maybe you can go up to $1,000. And if your car's old enough, maybe you don't even need to cover, comprehensive on that car, period. Right. You just need to carry collision. But those are things that you need to look at in these turbulent times. In case something crazy do happen, you want to be in the best possible position. And now, we're not sitting here looking to espouse gloom and doom. We're just saying you need to maximize what comes in and minimize what goes out. That's all.
Another one that people don't realize, and this is a big one, like you say, PMI. Where your value is over 80%, and you don't have to, keep that. And some people, it's at that threshold and don't realize they're still paying that PMI insurance. You could drop the PMI if it's 80%, right? Yeah, right, 80%.
Yes.
But anyway, those are things to think about, you all.
It's on you, buddy.
No, I just did minimize expenses on you.
I just did budget and review your spending.
That you snuck it in there so smooth. God dang, dude, you getting smooth with it. You stuck it in there so smooth. I just thought you was just piggybacking on what I was saying. Thank you very much. Damn, dude, you getting smooth with this podcast stuff. God.
Bob, that's one thing I've never ever in my life been called smooth. So
Well, I'm telling you now, you done got smooth, almost like your bald head. I'm telling you.
There's a lot of other adjectives I've been called. Smooth has never been one of them.
You smooth like the hair on your head. So let's talk about, though. This is one, though. We always talk about volatility. We know there's major volatility in cryptocurrency. We know it is volatility always in the stock market, but not like cryptocurrency. But what we want to talk about, bring to your attention in 2026, we really expect volatility to be even more. We really believe that volatility is going to increase in this next coming year because of just the tariffs supposed to be really hitting very soon. The Big Bill Act is supposed to be helping everybody tax wise, but you need to really look at your situation and job wise. Like I was saying, you need to really think about when things might start going, down and cost of things going up. Prepare yourself. So, I mean, we're not trying to be sensationalist is the word, but we just like to be prepared, and we really think it's going to be volatile times in 2026, without a doubt.
Yep. And so, and lastly, you need to, if you're working, make sure your resume is updated because as soon as the market takes a crash, companies are going to start cutting back. Try to keep on top of your skills, making sure you are increasing the different things that you can do, your marketability. Make sure you are sharpening. If it's AI that people want now, make sure you're up on what's going with AI and making sure you're working with your mentors and doing everything you can if things get crazy, that you won't be one of those below the line people. That refers to when we used to have job cuts. We had to cut certain percent. We draw a line we rank our people and draw a line. Everybody below that line would end up getting the bad news. So make sure you keep your resume updated so you're ready, so you shouldn't get shocked if your company has a big layoff. That shouldn't shock you anymore because it's become such a normal occurrence. Everybody is cutting jobs right now. And so, again, make sure your skills are tops and your marketability stays high.
Yeah, and that's a big one, though. A lot of people don't realize it's so important. No matter how the market goes, you should always look on increasing your skills because it just keeps you up, and as you get older, it keeps you keen and aware. Even if you are retired, pick up another hobby, pick up another skill. I mean, at the community center, there's so many free courses that they got, so many online courses. And yes, it's good because we're expecting the times to be a little bit crazy, and the more marketable you are, the more you're going to be at the forefront. Because I know a lot of people who really got into the IT side of things. They got certification friends and they stay employed. And so really think about acquiring more skills, not just because you in the workforce today, but it also is just great as we get older. It just keeps our faculties and things going, and it's always good to pick up more things. So with that, though, what would be the importance of being on top of your financial game?
And see, the takeaway, the thing I want you to remember from this conversation is that there's no excuse now with all of the educational things available for you to learn, and I'm not even including talking to an advisor. There's so many things you can learn on your own that you can get your arms around your finances. There's no excuse now for you not to be on top of your finances. Things, and as Bob, I think Bob mentioned this earlier, if you get yourself tighten up the belt and get yourself ready, and things don't go bad, you're still going to be in a much better position if you did do all the belt tightening, making sure you're not wasting any money. But I obviously I'm not, you know, a psychic or anything. I'm just saying if you look at how long the market's been in a bear market, if you look at all the possible things that could go haywire in 2026, you can't be surprised if the market takes a tumble and all the things that go along with that. Be it job cuts or everybody's 401k values going down. So you have no excuse for not getting on top of your financial situation right now. You need to stop putting it off. Take the time, get on top of it, and make sure you're ready in case things get crazy.
And my note is, we've been talking to everyone for 4 years now. And there's a saying that goes, you could lead a person to knowledge, but you can't make them think. I just want people to start taking actions because, having all this, having the tool chest and not using the tools is, senseless. So I wish you all take actions, no matter how big or how small. Just do something with your finances in 2026, and I guarantee you, you will feel less stressful. You feel a lot better being on top, as Doe talked about, being on top of your financial gain. And it doesn't take, you don't have to be no scholar, no professor. It just takes some action, you all. And we try to drop, things that are, we try not to talk over people's head. And we just appreciate everybody who's been with us for the last 4 years. But I'm really looking forward to 2026, though, as far as our show goes, because there's so much. I mean, this thing, we have not duplicated a topic on the show yet. And that's amazing. And I'm just looking forward to more things that we can share with y'all. And just do me a favor. Make sure you share this information with your family, your kids, your neighbors, your friends, because it is so important. Um, Mo Better, you need to stop. She just got on talking about, I have to catch up. She said, did you get a notification from Cash App saying that your account about to change to an investing account or something like that? It's because you have stocks in Bitcoin? Nah, I didn't know that. I don't think I've received that. That's a good thing. Beware, Mo Better, to look out. They're changing the Cash App accounts for the longest because a lot of people use the Cash App as their operating account with their business and wasn't getting any tax returns. So with that dope, once again, thank everybody for tuning in as we do our roll call. My two sisters, I don't know where Linda is, but Gloria and Noli are on today. Thank you. Love y'all. We meet every January the 1st with my brothers and sisters. And, in honor of my mother, who would have been 104 today. I mean, not today, this year. And so thank y'all for being on Modestine. You've been with us from the beginning. Garnett, love you much. Rodney Madison Sr., don't forget to note experience.com. We'd like to have you on again, Rodney, to talk about holding notes and to reiterate that. Joanne Skinner, Joanne been with us for the longest too. Thank you so much, Joanne. And our newest person who's been with us, Mo Better. Glad you still on with us, Mo Better. Oh, they gave you a business account. Oh my God. Cash App turned your account to a business account. Y'all, everybody who got Cash App, y'all need to look into that. So, dope. My starting off quote for the year. It's actually two quotes. Anyone afraid to tell the truth will always turn the truth teller the problem. And my second one,
I missed that.
anyone afraid of the truth will always turn the truth teller into the problem.
Ah, okay.
And the last one is today, I just like to wanted to give two. There's no elevator to success. You must take the stairs. With that, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful 2026. And we'll be right back at you again next week with another interesting topic about your finances. And like we said, get out there and make your money grow. Love y'all and have a wonderful day. Peace.